Hi, welcome back. If you're new here, my name's Bree, and if you can't tell from the title of this video, I am going to read another classic. Oh my god, I'm so excited. The classic that I want to read today, and if you saw my other video, you would kind of know, but the classic I want to read today is Peter Pan. It's also another short one. I think I kind of explained it, but I wanted to read this one because I really liked last year. I really liked the book Never by Jessa Hastings, and I realized that it's kind of like a spin-off, like continuation of the original Peter Pan, and I kind of really thought that was interesting. And so far I've read like 2 3 pages and I get it. Like everything now is starting to make even more sense for me, and it's not even much. But just like the writing style and everything that was in Never, I could see it kind of translated, like how that it gets translated into that from this. So I'm really excited. Like I said, I only got through like 2 pages, so I'm gonna keep reading and kind of see how I like it. This is another one of the signature classics from I got it at Barnes and Nobles, and it is so freaking cute. Like you can't say that's not beautiful. So yeah, I'm gonna take this with me, kind of read and see how I like it. I have to go to work, so I'm gonna take this with me to work and see how much I can read of it. But so far it's not too bad. Like I said, only a couple pages in, this and that, but we're gonna see what happens because I also like want to read this and like watch the Disney Peter Pan. I know, I know, I know they're not the same. They're not the same, but I want to because I just feel like there's nostalgia there too. And I think kind of having this under my belt, it'll kind of make me feel a little bit more like childish, like kid like, and kind of relive that nostalgia in a different way. So we're going to see how that goes. So I'm back to reading Peter Pan again, and I'm on chapter 2. I've kind of been stuck on chapter 2, if I'm being honest. I've been reading it on my Kindle, and not really my Kindle, but like on the Kindle app on my phone, because like there's been times at work where I've had just like a little bit of downtime, so I've just grabbed that because it's easier. But I've kind of been stuck on the same 2 pages, but they're kind of funny. They're cute, like funny 2 pages, but so far I like the way it's written. It's very like magical, and I think that's why I'm liking it. Like as soon as you go in, it's just like a lot of I don't know the right word for it, but I guess you could say like figurative language. It very much was it very much kept me like confused at the beginning. Like there was some stuff that I was like, oh, my hair is all messed up. There was some stuff that I was like, oh, okay, like that's an interesting way to put it. But yeah, I like it so far. We've already met like all the darling children. We've met like the parents. We've met Nana. I love Nana. I love the way they speak about Nana. I think it's so cute. So you've met all of them, and you've met Peter Pan. Like you already know that Peter Pan has come to see the children. And so I thought that's interesting. I think I mentioned this. I've never read the book before. I've only ever seen the Disney movie. So I kind of like the way that, like, one, I'm like learning more about it, but two, like, right now I'm on chapter 2, and I think the way that they set up the movie is also cute because the way the chapter 2 is set up. So I'm like, okay, like they did good there, which I know it's not the same, and I know it's gonna be like different and stuff, but I like it so far. I'm very intrigued to see what happens, and I know like I've been kind of pulling from my hardcover a little bit, because in my hardcover every chapter there's like cute little things in there. So like in chapter 1 of like my hardcover, it has a cute little like foldable thing with like the darling children's minds, and when you flip them open, it builds an entire map of Neverland. And I think it's so cute because like the way that that's also spoken about, essentially saying that like there's this line where it says like Mrs. Darling had to put the kids' minds away at night, like pack them away nicely and stuff. And I thought that's so cute because it's like, yeah, at night, like she's getting the kids to bed and they're very like animated and like playing around and stuff, and she has to kind of wrangle them and like put them at ease a little bit to make them be able to calm down enough to go to bed and have them not be so like theatrical, dramatic, and so like imaginative. And I really like that. So we'll see what the rest of it looks like. I think right now I'm at the point where it's like it's the night that the kids get taken, so we'll see. But yeah, I like it so far. I'm only 2 chapters in, so. Okay, so it's been a minute since I've checked in. I'm currently in chapter 7 in the Home Underground, and I'm a little bit through it. I'm not quite to chapter 8 yet, but I'm a little bit through it. And so far, I kind of really like the book. I think it's fun. I honestly need to look up like who the audience was at the time. Like, I can't tell if the audience was kids or if it was like adults, but I still like it. Right now, I think the last time I checked in, they were like all flying to Neverland, and they were already there. They landed, and obviously I think I can't remember exactly what happened, but I know that they like all end up splitting up, like John, Michael, Wendy, and Peter all split up, and Wendy mistakenly trusts Tinkerbell to guide her to the right spot, and Tinkerbell does not like her. I think that's something like that I feel like is very true from like the movie to like the book and stuff, is that Tinkerbell just doesn't like Wendy. But I thought it was funny that the Tinkerbell like guides Wendy to the like this area of the island, and essentially tells the Lost Boys like, oh, it's a Wendy, like it's a bird, because they believe like a Wendy is a bird, based off of what Peter's told them and stuff. And so they're like, okay, let's shoot it, and Peter's gonna like be happy about it and stuff. And they shoot the arrow at Wendy. The poor little boy shoots the arrow at Wendy and is like, oh my gosh, like I killed her, like I always dreamed of a mother and I got one and I killed her. And it's so sad because you could like, I don't know, like reading it, I could just hear his like, what did I do? Yeah, it was really cute, that part. Like obviously like Wendy doesn't die. Like he hit like the little thimble that Wendy had, like her and Peter like traded, I guess like the acorn or whatever. But I just thought it was funny because, and I think that like that scene alone shows a lot of how Peter is with the Lost Boys. I think it's already kind of been said that like Peter just kind of like snatches them up, and like all these kids don't have like any guidance other than Peter, and they know that like they know they can't disagree with Peter, they know they can't talk back to Peter, they know they can't be like older than him, they know they can't be wiser than him, like all these other things, like they have to be like exactly like them, or if not he's just like, and Peter's just the type of person that's like my way or the highway, like see ya, wouldn't want to be ya, type of person. And I feel like that's a very like naive and childlike way of thinking, which obviously he's young, like that's the whole point, is like he's a boy that never grows up. But I just think that it's the way that it's described in those ways of how stubborn he is interesting. I obviously it's very different, right? So like one of the things was the way it's described is that Peter pretty much is just like, people are disposable to him. Like when he no longer has a use for them, he's just kind of like, okay, bye, see ya. And I don't like that about him. Like, I don't like that about him. Like, I think he's a horrible person. And he only, like, one of the, like, there's something that's said, it's said at the beginning and it's mentioned again, but at the beginning when he loses his shadow, Wendy's like, oh, like, we can sew it to you. And he's like, okay, like, yeah, like, whatever. Not even okay, yeah. He's like, what are you waiting for, girl? Like, that's literally what he tells her. Like, what are you waiting for? And she's like, okay. And she pretty much, like, tells him, like, he wants to act like the idea of him, so, like, his shadow being sewn to him is his idea, when it wasn't. It was Wendy's. And it's shown again later when they kind of like decide to like build a house for Wendy because they hurt her or whatever. It's kind of shown that like he's just like one of the other boys kind of mentions it and he acts like it's his idea and it's not. And so I thought that was kind of annoying, but yeah. And you could tell like he did not want John and Michael there. Like John and Michael finally land like where they are and he's like, get to work, and like sends them to go build the house for Wendy. And yeah, he doesn't want them there. Like he doesn't like them there. So I thought that was interesting. But so far I'm really liking it. I'm in chapter 7. Yeah, I'm in chapter 7 and I haven't looked at like my cute little copy for the different stuff yet. Like I looked at the first one, which I don't know if we look together, but it's the medical notes. So it says like medical notes, patient card, darling children, condition unknown, and the doctor's note says there's zigzag lines on it just like our temperature on the card, and it says a confidential, office use only. I think it's so cute. Like, it's literally, like, their little brains. And, like, you could see, I think this one says Wendy. No, this one is Michael's. This one is John's. And this one is Wendy's. Right here. And if you, like, you see it's, like, the little map of their brain, which is kind of how it's described in the book. But when you open each one, it's the map. Isn't that so cute? It's like the cute little map. I think that's adorable. Part of the reason like I saw this and I was so sad because when you go look for it at the bookstore, it's like cased in plastic. So you can't even like sneak a peek at what the extra stuff is. And so that's chapter 1's. Chapter 2, it's the shadow. So in chapter 2, there's still kind of like not like Peter hasn't gone, but you know that the shadow like exists. Like, but look, it's like in the leaves, and Peter's described as a little boy who's like dressed in leaves. So like it literally makes it look like leaves, and then his little shadow. Isn't that so cute? And then what's chapter 3? Yeah, okay. Chapter 3's, I like the like artwork in here too. Like look at how pretty that is. Chapter 3, and then there's that artwork. And it says come away, come away, come away. That's the name of the chapter. And then it's cute because you get Tinkerbell, you get her little like wing. It like actually comes out of the paper. Isn't that so cute? But look at that detail. So yeah, there's that one. I'm gonna take this out. I'm taking these like papers out. I don't think they need to stay in there. I'll find out if they do or not. Yikes. Oh, there's like cute little like, I didn't even see that. There's like cute little things throughout the pages. Oh yeah, this is like a map of Kensington Garden where they like live and stuff, where the darling children live. That's cute. I like that. There's like cute little like pictures in here, like little illustrations. Look at the kids. They're all flying away. But yeah, so then you're in chapter 4. I think what I really liked about chapter 4 is that it's them flying. Like, it's called The Flight, and the entire chapter is them, like, flying. And you see how, like, it's never ending. Like, the flight is so long. Like, they're like, at one point the boys are like, I'm so tired, and they're like kind of like can't keep themselves up, and Peter's like, I'm keep going. He's like, peace. But this is cute. So you see, like, I know at one point it's saying that there's like, okay, so like the Lost Boys and Peter Pan and the Darling Children and the pirates and the natives are all kind of there, and it's said that they're like all like they are kind of like in sync with each other, but they're in sync with each other to not find each other. So they're like essentially circling the island, but they're all at like a certain point of the island that, and the pace that they're going at is like they're never gonna find each other. Like, they're just continuously going in a circle. And so I think this is cute because like it kind of shows that like there's the island all around them, and as you can see, there's the different groups of people. So you have like the Beast, you have Peter, you have the Lost Boys, the pirates, all of that, and like they're just them spinning in a circle because they're not like meant to find each other. And you find out that in this chapter there's a part where like I think it's the Lost Boys get out of step, and because they slow down their pace or something, they end up coming close to the pirates. And I know that's like a very scary part for them because one, they don't have Peter, and two, they're trying not to get found because the pirates are after the Lost Boys because they want to find Peter because Peter got Hook's arm bitten off by the crocodile. And it's so funny. I think it's so hilarious because Hook is so afraid of the crocodile. Like, he's like, he's mad at Peter because he believes that the crocodile is only looking for him. He's like, he had a taste of me and now he wants more. Like, I think that's so funny. But yeah, look at this little picture of Hook with his sitting on the mushrooms and stuff. And the mushroom is what the Lost Boys use to cover their chimney. So as you can see, it has like the smoke coming out of it and stuff. I think it's so funny. It's so cute. But yeah, so there's that. Look, the arrows that shot into Wendy. These are the little arrows that shot into Wendy. I don't know how to say the little, like, the Lost Boy's name, but it looks like Toodles is his name. But yeah, so yeah, they end up building the house for Wendy, and, you know, they feed her and stuff. They, like, make a little song. Look at the little illustrations for the house they built for her. Isn't that so cute? But yeah, they built her little house. I think that's cute. And then she goes up to read them Cinderella, because that's part of the reason why Peter like takes her, is because he wanted stories for them. And so, like, I think I mentioned it earlier when I talked about Hook, but the Lost Boys, they have like their little house underground, and they each have their own tree that is like their own doorway to their home underground. And so once they build like Wendy's house and stuff, Peter starts working on getting the Darling Children their own tree like holes to get into the underground house. And look at this cute little like illustration of it. So it's like each of the, like, you see the trees, right? And then you pick it up, and each little hole is like for the Lost Boys and like the Darling Children, and it's their little tunnels to get to their little underground house. I think that's so cute. Like, they're little peoples. But yeah. This is actually a lot cuter than I expected. I like this. I don't know. I think I do like this story because it's just fun and light, and it's not too like crazy, but I feel like it shows a lot of different things. Like, I like that Tinkerbell's mean. I don't like Peter as a character, but I like how they're portraying him as somebody who's just kind of like rude and doesn't care about anybody other than himself. I feel like that's how children are, like, can be sometimes. until they're taught otherwise. But obviously, hi Azula. Obviously, Peter's never taught, so there's that. But yeah, so I'm gonna keep reading, see like how much more I can get into and stuff. But I really like it. I think it's interesting. I think it's cute. I always used to like the movie when I was younger, but I think I like this story better. And like I know it's not the same person, and I know that it's not the same, like it's like a spin-off of it, but everything I'm reading here and like how like selfish Peter is just making me love Jessa Hastings even more, because her depiction of Peter in Never is pretty much the exact same Peter I'm getting from this, and that's partly why I picked it up. That was one of my big things, but I really like that, and I don't know. I think I might try to get into more like more books that are like go off of the storyline of Peter Pan, in a sense of like they're built in like they're kind of supposed to be a part of the same world and like universe that Peter Pan is in. Because I feel like it's quirky, it's funny, and there's a lot to be told. So I don't know, but I really like it. Um, like I want to know, like I know the last chapter of the book is like obviously the end, right, and like the future, but like I feel like I can never remember how the kids get back home. And maybe I'm just dumb for not remembering, but I could never remember how the kids get back home. Like, I remember them seeing the mermaids, which I think I'm about to get to the mermaids. So I'm excited for that, because I know the mermaids are kind of mean too. Um, but yeah. So we'll see. But so far, I really like it. I don't know if I have a feeling yet on my rating for it, but I think it's cute. I think it's really cute. Um, Especially for, I think it's supposed to be kids. So, um, yeah. Oh my gosh, I just realized this. So on the back, there's like a little like indention, and it's Peter with like the stars. And it says, she asked where he lived. Second to the right, said Peter, and then straight on till morning. But yeah, it's cute. I really like it. So I'm gonna keep reading, and I'm gonna probably wait till I finish the book to look at the rest of them, because I think there's only like 14 chapters. So I'm a good like halfway through. So I'm gonna finish the book until I look at the rest of the little like excerpt thingies, like the little extra stuff in here. But she's so cute. I love her. I actually really like it. I just think I just haven't had a lot of time to read, but I do really like it. So let's get back into it. I'm actually very confused, but I'm in chapter 10 right now. I think there's like 17 chapters, something like that. I'm in chapter 10 right now, and it's called The Happy Home. And I'm a little nervous, but it's kind of cute because the way it starts is like you get kind of the routine of the Darling Children and the Lost Boys. And essentially, they're all like having dinner, and it's talking about the chaos of like how dinner is and how usually the boys will like all fight with each other, but at dinner they're not allowed to, so they like complain and they like ask Wendy like they tell Wendy like I have a complaint about this person, and it starts with one, and then they all end up having complaints with each other, and like it's like this whole thing, and it's kind of funny and cute, and I like it because like one of the Lost Boys, he doesn't have like his Toodles, I think the one that shot her, he doesn't have like a play, so he's like I want to be a baby like I think it's John. Oh, he's like, I want to be a baby like Michael. And then Michael's like, no, you can't be a baby. I'm a baby. And then he's like, well, I want to be a twin, like the twins. And the twins are like, no, you can't do that. And then, like, it turns to this whole thing, but they all end up, like, complaining about each other. I thought that part was cute. But you get to this part, which I thought was interesting. And I kind of, like, highlighted it. And it said, essentially, like, Wendy and Peter are dancing with each other, right? And they call Wendy mom and they call Peter like their father, like the Lost Boys, right? And Wendy starts asking like Peter this question, and he kind of is like, well, we're like just playing pretend, right? Like we're not like their parents, like I'm not like their father. And she's like, no, but like you can be, like if you want to, like they're, she tells him like they're yours and mine. And she asks him what his feelings are of her, and he says those are of a devoted son. And she goes, I thought so. And she said, and went and sat by herself at the extreme end of the room. So she's literally like with him, and he answers that question, and she goes opposite side of the room and goes to sit by herself. And she kind of get like, Peter's like confused, and he tells her like, he said, Tiger Lily is the same. There's something she wants to be to me, but she's not. She says it's not my mother. And so it's literally like he's a child. He's still like, he's a stupid boy. That's literally what it is. But he's a boy and he doesn't understand like these complex like feelings that are growing for Wendy and for Tiger Lily. And I think I've already mentioned this, but Tinkerbell is like extremely jealous. Like extremely jealous. And he's like they like, him and Wendy start like kind of arguing, and he goes like she's like, she pretty much says that like no, like Tiger Lily's like not your mom, like definitely not that. And he's like, well, like what is it that she wants, what is it that you want? And she pretty much is like, I'm like not gonna tell you that. And he's like, well, I'm just gonna go ask Tinkerbell. And he's like, he said, I'm gonna go ask Tinkerbell. And she's like, yeah, Tinkerbell will tell you. And she like, at this point, like Wendy's been there long enough, she's over Tinkerbell. She's like, whatever. And Tinkerbell's there, and then he says, she says she glories being the abandoned, because she like makes a comment about Tinkerbell. And then he says, perhaps Tink wants to be my mother. And Tinkerbell's mad about this, and it kind of makes me laugh because she calls him like a name, and she keeps like most of the time, like when Peter does something stupid, this is what she calls him. And I think it's just so funny. And it's like, yes, because honestly, like me reading it, it just feels like Tinkerbell likes him, Tiger Lily likes him, and Wendy likes him. Like he literally saved Tiger Lily, so like that means something to her, you know. And then like obviously Wendy, I guess, like kind of like fantasizes about him before she even meets him a little bit. And then obviously Tinkerbell's like with him all the time. So I don't know. To me, it's kind of like interesting. I don't know if I'm reading or understanding this the right way. I feel like I am, but I thought that was interesting. And so then, yeah, Wendy's like a little bit upset, and her and Peter Pan have a little like whatever going on, and at this point they decide like literally that's the end of like that part, and you get to like this new thing, and it's like essentially this last couple paragraphs there's no dialogue, but by the end of the hour they're gonna be not on the island anymore, and not that is kind of interesting to me, and I'm scared. I don't know what's gonna happen, because essentially the way it's being described is like Wendy starts putting the kids to bed and she's gonna tell this story, but she's told this story before, and Peter Pan doesn't like to hear the story. But this time Peter Pan is gonna sit through and listen to the story. I feel like maybe I'm going crazy, but we all know Peter Pan is literally like a boy. And he doesn't like when people are older. He doesn't like when people are wiser. He doesn't like to be called out. I feel like in her story, she's gonna call him out. Because the next chapter, chapter 11, is called Wendy's Story. So I'm excited. I don't know what's gonna happen. I think, like, I don't know. I have my own feelings on this, and I keep saying it, but I think the pretty much the premise of the story is that like everybody has like everybody like has to grow up, and Peter Pan doesn't have to, and that's something that I feel like is like obviously like the biggest thing that comes into play, but like growing up is like having complex feelings and stuff like that, and I feel like Wendy is starting to have like these feelings for Peter, and he doesn't know how to reciprocate them. And yeah, I don't think it's like explained too much, as at least right now it's not, but I feel like that's what we're getting at, but I could be wrong. I'm a little scared, so I'm gonna start this next part and we'll see what happens. So it's the next morning, but I literally like finished the book and then was like done. So I went straight to sleep. I didn't film my review. So that's what we're going to get right now. The last part I left off on was like Wendy's story, which is Wendy's story is like chapter 11, and then there is, I think there's like 50 pages left at that point. Yeah, there's like 50 pages left still. So I think it was chapter 11, and there's 17 chapters, right? So in Wendy's story, she pretty much says like, she's telling the boys this story, and it's essentially the story of like how they left their house and ended up at Neverland, and how like the story ends with like them returning home, and Mr. and Mrs. Darling are like waiting for them and they miss them. And pretty much the premise of the story is that a mother's love is like strong enough that she wants her kids to come back and stuff, and that she loves them and she'll wait for them. But Peter doesn't like this story because he used to listen in to like his mother, like he went back home to like his window for his home with his mother, and she had shut the window on him, and she like had got a new baby, and there's like a new little boy in his bed, and he goes, yeah, they don't care about you. Pretty much like his premise was like, they don't care about you, they just replace you. And that upsets Wendy, John, and Michael, and they're like, no, like we want to go home. And so at that point he's just like, fine, like whatever, like you can go home. And they're about to like leave to go home, and they hear the Indians attack the natives, and so they're like waiting. Well, not the Indians, I'm sorry. They hear the pirates attack the natives, and it literally was like the same word. What the heck? They hear the pirates attack the natives, and they're waiting to see like who wins, because if it's the natives they'll hear like a certain like chant or like instrument, and they hear the instrument but it was really the pirates, so they all get captured. and they're about to like be thrown off the plank or whatever, and Peter goes to save them, and when he saves them, they're like, okay, they're all gonna go. Well, when Wendy tells the story, her and John and Michael want to go home, but then she advocates that her parents would adopt the Lost Boys, like if they went with her, like they would adopt them, because they're like, we want mothers too, like because they don't want to lose Wendy, so like we want mothers too. So yeah, that pretty much like happens. And so she like when they finally get Peter like saves them from the pirate ship, they finally take off back home, and Peter and Tinkerbell get there before them, and they see that Mrs. Darling is like very sad, like she's like crying because she like misses her kids, and they like close the window so that the kids couldn't go back in, and they would think that their mother didn't love them, but then he sees that and he like opens the window for them, and then they come and they go home and like all of that, and then Wendy does tell Mr. Darling like, hey, like let's keep the Lost Boys, and then they decide to keep the Lost Boys, and they all pretty much grow up, and every year for like 2 years, Peter goes back to like take Wendy to like help him with like his spring cleaning, but after like the second year, he forgets about her, like he doesn't go back for her, and she kind of gets sad and stuff, and so like years go by, her and her husband, she marries, her and her husband buy the house for Mrs. and Mr. Darling, and they end up having a daughter, Jane. And so Wendy's there, and her daughter loves to hear stories about Peter Pan. So she'll like tell her stories. And then one night, Wendy's there in the room, and Peter comes in, and he's like talking to Wendy and stuff. And he's like, "Oh, come help me! Like, come help me with my stuff. Like, I'm here for you." And she tells him like, "I can't go anymore." And he was just like, "No, like you can come, you can come." Well, then something happens, and he's like, she tells him like, "I grew up. Like I'm an adult. Like I grew up." And she leaves to go get something, and Peter's crying, and then essentially the cycle of like Peter's crying, a young girl wakes up and starts to help Peter, that cycle starts all over again, but with Jane, Wendy's daughter. And before you know it, she like takes off with Peter. She's gone for a while, she comes back, and the cycle and that same thing happens with Jane for a while, but then the cycle goes over with then Jane's daughter, Margaret. And so it's kind of like at the end of the book, it kind of goes into this cycle that, not the cats losing their mind right now. It goes into this cycle that Peter always is going to come back for the girl in the window. So I thought that was cute. I liked, part of it made me sad a little bit because in Wendy's story, it's all about like a mother's love. And then later you see like Mrs. Darling like really sad. And essentially the same thing that happens to Mrs. Darling happens to Wendy at one point, and then to her daughter Jane. And it's kind of this thing of like you don't want to let your child go, but you love them, and you know you always like wait for them and stuff. And there's this quote that I highlighted. I need to like find it. I thought it was cute. It says, I found it. It says, "Off we skip like the most heartless things in the world, which is what children are, but so attractive. And we have an entirely selfish time. And then when we have a need for special attention, we nobly return for it, confident that we shall be rewarded instead of smacked." I was like, ah! But actually, that's kind of true. It's like, I feel like I feel like I'm kind of bad about it. It's like, there's times where I'm like, I'll go back to my mom because I'm like, I need help, or like I need this and stuff, and she's always there to help me, rather than like when I don't talk to her for a couple days. It's not like she doesn't get out. She's like, why didn't you talk to me, or like, why didn't you like this and that. So I don't know, I kind of get that that vibe from it. It's like, yeah, like as children, like we constantly seek like attention, but like whenever we don't realize like the hurt we do to other people because we're children, especially when you're young. So that was one thing. But yeah, ultimately, I liked the ending. I thought it was cute. It was interesting. And I kind of like how that cycle goes like over and over. Like it goes from Wendy to Jane to Margaret, and then it's kind of mentioned that it goes down to Margaret's daughter, but you don't get like Margaret's daughter's name. So I thought that was interesting. But yeah, I liked it overall. It took me a while to get through it. I think it's just because it was such like the way it's written is also interesting. Like I believe it was like the whole story of Peter Pan is taken from like smaller stories, and that was like also a play and then morphed into this like one big story. So I really like how the narrator is in this book. I feel like that was, I don't know, I feel like their narrator almost gave like screenwriting vibes, but also still like I feel like, yes, like I was sitting there watching a play, like whenever the narrator came out. Like you could, I feel like when the narrator came out in my mind, I could see the scene, the sets of like the different parts like changing as the narrator's talking, and then we go into the next scene. And I thought that was kind of interesting. And I believe that Peter Pan is like like it was a play at one point. So I don't know. I liked it. I still don't know like an exact rating on it yet. I think. I think it's about like a 4 star. It took me a while to get through, but yeah. So, the last time I checked this book, I believe, was when we had the little holes like fitted for the children. I think I showed this one already. But we had the little holes fitted for the children, and I haven't looked at it again because I wanted to be able to like read more to like understand what it meant, because I feel like some of it I didn't understand. Yeah, I was at the Mermaid Lagoon part. I remember that was the last time I checked in. Mermaid Lagoon, I thought that's cute. Honestly, I'm really glad I got this cover because I thought it was so adorable. I like this depiction of the rock. I feel like when I was trying to see the rock in my head, it made no sense to me. But I like this depiction of it and the boat. And, oh, look at little Tiger Lily. Can you see little Tiger Lily? She's like being captured. They're about to throw her on the rock. But yeah, I like the artwork in here. It's really cute and cool. And then, yeah, I believe, so that's the whole thing. They're like, they get Tiger Lily. Peter's trying to save her. The kids are all on the rock, and they're trying not to get, like, I forget what they're trying not to do, but essentially they're trying to make it back home because the pirates are there, so they don't want to get captured by the pirates. But they tie, like, they use the kite to get off of the rock before the tide comes in, and this is a picture of, like, the kite. Isn't that so cute? But yeah, they tie like I believe they tie Wendy to it so she can get out. Oh, this is a cute depiction. So the Never bird is like a bird that Peter saved because its nest like fell. So he like put the nest is in the water and the bird like is there, but the bird helps him and gives him his nest. So that way he can get off of the rock because he's stuck there, and he puts one of the pirates' hats in the water for the bird with her eggs. That's cute. That's a cute little picture. Yeah. Then, essentially, like I said, the pirates end up capturing the kids, and so Peter pretends to be the like crocodile by like clicking, making like clicking sounds, and it's literally like a crocodile, but it's a clock. That's so cute. That's so cute. Like Croco Clock. It's like copyrighted and everything. But yeah. There's that. You have Wendy's story. Look at that. Isn't that cute? That's Wendy's story. Oh, Tinkerbell. Oh yeah, Wendy serves them medicine and it's actually just water. I thought that was so cute. Oh, this is cute. So yeah, when Captain Hook goes to attack them, he has like a whole plan. And this is like a depiction of his little plan. I really like the like illustrations in this. I think it's so cute. There's a chapter called Do You Believe in Fairies? And essentially like they poisoned Peter's medicine and so he doesn't take it. Tinkerbell takes it. So that way he doesn't die. But because she takes it, she almost dies. And so what happens is that since she almost dies, they say like children don't believe in fairies anymore. So to clap if you believe in fairies. And I thought it was really cute. Because this illustration, this little like excerpt thingy for this chapter is like the different, it's like the clap chart. So it's like the different hands that like clapped for Tinkerbell because they believe in fairies and they don't want her to die. But yeah. And then there's a back too. But yeah, they're like little 3D little hands. They like come out of the paper. There's the crocodile. And then this is when they're on the pirate ship when they're trying to get the Hook's trying to get rid of the kids because he has them captured. I like the illustrations. Like it's just so cute. I feel like each chapter has like different ones. See, look like the ticking of the crocodile clock. It's interesting. I wonder what this one is. I have this big one. Oh, look, it's Skull Rock. It's literally a whole map of Skull Rock. Isn't that cute? Look at that. But I'm going to fold that up because I can't leave that open. Yeah, these illustrations are cute. Like, look at this little sail to start the chapter off. There was another chapter where it's like all about Captain Hook. And the chapter starts with the top of the letter. It's like Captain Hook's hat. Like Peter and Hook fighting. Look, the crocodile got him again. So there's that. I'm almost at the last one. Oh yeah, I thought that part was funny. So Mr. Darling, because he feels so bad that the kids got taken, he essentially puts himself in the kennel where Nana is. And so it's funny because it's described that the kennel goes with him. Like he literally stays in the kennel and he makes this like, he says that he's going to stay in the kennel until the kids come back. And he goes to work in the kennel. And so they literally have this where they're carrying him to the taxi. I thought that was so funny. I remember reading that and I was like, that's actually kind of hilarious. I feel like the parent, like they're so dramatic, some of these characters. I was like, what the heck? Oh, this is funny. I didn't read this, but it's like a piece of paper from the news. And it literally, the first one, it says, like, local man. What does it say? A local man vows to live in dog kennel. That's Mr. Darling. It says, is your house safe? Mysterious intruders. No evidence of fingerprints, breakages, or thefts. And then canine commotion. Incessant barking invokes suspicion. Police call to ongoing nocturnal disturbance. Perplexing leaves found in Bloomsbury Square Gardens. Specimen sent to Kew Gardens for analysis. Unidentified twinkling lights over London skyline. Yeah, I think that's funny. It's like all the different stuff that was happening, like to the like in the area because the Darling kids left. The twinkling was probably them flying. But yeah. Then you have when Wendy grew up. Oh yeah, that made me sad because essentially at one point Wendy tells Peter like, "Oh, like how's Tinkerbell?" And he's like, "Who's Tinkerbell?" And you kind of realize that Tinkerbell died because she has a short lifespan because she's a fairy. But yeah, that was pretty much it. Like that was the last one. There wasn't any more little drawings in there. I guess the last one was just the newspaper. Yeah, the last one was the newspaper. But yeah, that was from this book. That was from this copy. But yeah, overall I liked it. I think it was good. I think I still am gonna read classics, but I think I need to do my research a little bit more because I didn't look it up till this morning, and I picked it up because I was like, well, I wanted to read and like understand, but it was very like there were times where it was just like I feel like I wasn't fully into it because I'm not a child anymore. So yeah, I need to make sure that I can actually vibe with it. I have a couple more classics that I want to read. So I might get into those. I don't know if I want to share which ones they are yet. I think you already know of one of them. But yeah, that was pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And to keep up with my next videos. And that's pretty much it. Bye.